It is 6:47 in the morning. Your alarm just went off. You hit snooze one more time. And in your head, you are already thinking in your first language. Already, before you even open your eyes.
You go to work. You come home. You watch something in English maybe. You study a little. And then you sleep. And tomorrow, same thing. Same words. Same freeze. Same feeling of, why is this not getting better?
And here is the part that nobody tells you. It is not about studying more. It is not about your grammar book. It is about what you do in the first 30 minutes of your day.
Today, we are going to show you exactly how a simple morning routine completely changed the way we speak English. And how it can change yours too. Starting tomorrow morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speak Unstoppable, the podcast where we help you go from understanding English to actually speaking it confidently, naturally, in real American daily life. I'm Maria.
And I'm John. And we are so happy you are here with us today. This episode, honestly, this one is close to my heart. Because we are talking about something that actually worked for me. Not something from a textbook. Something real.
This episode is perfect. If you are at a B1 or B2 level, that means intermediate or upper intermediate English. You understand a lot, you read well, maybe you can write okay. But speaking, especially in the morning, before your brain is fully awake, that is where it gets hard. And that is exactly what we are talking about today.
If you are new here, welcome. We make new episodes every single day. One tap. Subscribe right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps us keep making content just like this for you.
And if you are a returning listener, thank you. Truly, your comments mean so much to us. We read them. We think about you when we write these episodes. You are why we do this. Okay, let's get into it.
Can I ask you something honest? When does your English feel the worst? Like, when is the hardest moment of the day for your English?
For a lot of people, and I hear this all the time in the comments, it is first thing in the morning. You wake up, your brain is still warming up. And then suddenly, you are at a drive-thru at McDonald's or a Starbucks, and someone asks you something fast, and your brain just goes blank.
Completely blank. Like a white screen. Nothing.
And the thing is, that feeling does not just happen because you do not know the words. It happens because your brain has not switched into English mode yet. Your brain is still in your first language. And for most people, it stays there until maybe noon, maybe later.
Think of it like this. Your brain is like a car on a cold morning. You know how in winter, if you just jump in the car and floor the gas, it runs rough, right? It sputters. It hesitates. But if you warm it up first, even just a few minutes, it runs smooth. Your English is the same way.
And a morning routine, a real, simple, consistent morning routine, is how you warm up that engine. You are not studying harder. You are just starting earlier. Starting before the hard moments hit you.
Maybe this happens to you too. I think it does. And today, we're going to talk about exactly what that routine looks like and what it changed for us personally.
Okay, so let's start with the problem itself. Because I think it is really important to understand why mornings are so hard, not just that they are hard.
Right, because if you understand the why, the solution makes a lot more sense.
So here is what I noticed about myself. When I wake up in the morning, my first thoughts they are in my first language. Not English, my first language. And that is completely normal. That is just how our brains work. Your brain defaults to, and that word, defaults, it means it automatically goes back to it defaults to the language you have used the longest, the deepest, the most emotionally.
That is actually such a good point. It is like your first language is the home setting on your phone. You can change it, but every morning, it kind of resets back.
Exactly. And so if you go from first language thoughts at 6 a.m. straight into an English-speaking environment at 8 a.m. when you get to work or school, that is a huge jump. Your brain did not get any practice in between.
And I felt this so much when I first moved here. I remember, this is a little embarrassing. I remember my first week at a new job in the U.S. My manager, super friendly guy, really nice, he came over in the morning and just said, "Hey, John, how's it going?" And I genuinely said this, yes. Just yes. How is it going? Yes, as if that was an answer.
Oh no. John, what did he say?
He just kind of blinked and nodded slowly and walked away. And I stood there thinking, why? Why did I say yes? I know how to answer that question. I have answered that question 100 times. But in that morning, new place, no warm-up, my brain just threw out a random word and left.
But that is exactly the point, right? It was not a vocabulary problem. You knew the answer. Your brain just was not ready.
Completely not ready. And that is what we want to fix.
So the key phrase here, the first one for today, is warm up your English. Warm up. You know this phrase from sports, right? Before you run, you warm up your muscles. Before you speak English, you need to warm up your English brain. It is the same idea.
And warming up does not mean sitting down with a textbook at 6 a.m. Nobody wants to do that. It means small, simple things that get your brain into English mode before you have to use English for real.
Yes, small things. That is the whole idea. Okay, so I want to share what I actually did, because I think specific is more helpful than general. And this started a few years ago. I was struggling. My reading was good, my listening was getting better, but every time I had to speak at the doctor's office, at work, during meetings, even just at the checkout at Walmart, I would freeze. And it was so frustrating because I knew the words. I just could not get them out fast enough.
That in-between feeling. You know it, but you cannot access it in time.
Yes, that is exactly it. Access. That word is important. You have the words in your brain, they are there, but you cannot access them fast enough under pressure.
Oh, wow. I love how you said that. Access, like the words are locked in a drawer, and you cannot find the key fast enough.
Exactly. So what I started doing, and this felt almost too simple at first, was I started talking to myself in English for the first 10 minutes of my morning. Out loud, while I was making coffee.
Wait, out loud? Like actually speaking?
Out loud. Not in my head. Actually speaking. And at first it felt so weird. I felt a little I do not know silly, but I would just narrate what I was doing. I would say, okay, I am making coffee. I need to find my mug. Where did I put it? Oh, it is on the counter. Just simple, normal sentences. About nothing.
And did it feel different quickly, or did it take a while?
It took maybe 2 weeks before I noticed something. And what I noticed was at work, When someone asked me a question in the morning, I was not panicking anymore. The words were already flowing. Because I had already been speaking English for 10 minutes that morning, my brain was warm.
That is so good. I love that. The key phrase here, and I want everyone to write this down if you can talk to yourself. Now, this might sound strange in some cultures, right? Talking to yourself. But in English learning, it is one of the most powerful tools you have. It means you practice speaking without any pressure, without anyone judging you, without the fear of making a mistake.
And you can do it anywhere. In the shower, while you are getting dressed, while you are driving to work, while you are making breakfast. You do not need a conversation partner. You just need your own voice.
You just need your own voice. I really like that. Okay, so my morning routine is a little different from Maria's, and I want to share it because I think it works for a different type of learner. I am someone who I have never loved sitting still. I cannot study at a desk for a long time. I get restless, so I needed something that moved.
That is so you, by the way. Even right now, you are shifting around.
I cannot help it. Okay, so what I started doing was every morning I go for a walk. It does not have to be long. Mine is about 20 minutes. And while I walk, I listen to an English podcast or an audio show. But, and this is the important part, I do not just listen. I repeat. I actually say the sentences out loud as I walk.
Ugh, I love this. This is called shadowing, right? Say that word for our listeners, shadowing.
Shadowing. Shadow like your shadow, the dark shape that follows you when the sun is out. Shadowing means you listen to someone speak, and you follow right behind them with your own voice. You copy the rhythm, the stress, the sound of the words. You are like a shadow of the speaker.
And the reason this is so powerful, especially for pronunciation, is because you are not just hearing the English. You are making your mouth and your tongue move in English patterns. You are training your mouth, not just your ears.
Yes. And okay, here is my embarrassing story for this episode. Because Maria always says I have to have one.
It is a rule. A real rule.
It is in the contract. Okay, so one morning I was doing my walk, I was shadowing this podcast, and I got really into it. Like really into it. I was repeating sentences, I was doing the intonation, I was really going for it. And I looked up, and there was my neighbor. Standing at her mailbox. Just staring at me. And I had been talking out loud for probably 3 minutes walking past her house.
Oh no! What did you do?
I said, "Oh, I am practicing English." And she said, "Oh, how is it going?" And you know what I said?
No. You said yes again.
I did not say yes. I said really well, thank you, which is actually the correct answer. So progress.
Progress. Okay, so shadowing, say it one more time and talk to yourself. These are two of the most powerful free things you can do in the morning. And notice, neither of them costs money. Neither of them requires an app. You just need your voice and your ears.
And maybe some earbuds so your neighbor does not think you are having a one-sided argument with a tree.
Okay, I want to go a little deeper here because I think understanding this will really help. There is something that language learners call English mode. It is not a scientific term, it is just a way of describing the mental state you get into when your brain is fully comfortable thinking and responding in English.
Right. And some people say I switch into English mode, meaning they feel a shift, like something clicks. And English starts flowing more naturally.
The phrase here is switch into. Switch into English mode. Switch means to change from one thing to another, quickly, like flipping a light switch. And mode is like a setting, like your phone has a silent mode, a dark mode. Your brain has an English mode.
And the beautiful thing about a morning routine is you can train yourself to switch into English mode faster and faster. At first, maybe it takes you until lunchtime. Then 10 a.m. Then 9 a.m. Then, if your routine is strong, you wake up and you are basically already in English mode within 20 minutes.
I really felt this happen for me. And one of the specific situations where I noticed it was at my doctor's office, which in the US, and I want to talk about this because I know a lot of our listeners have experienced this going to the doctor in America, when English is not your first language, can be really stressful.
Oh, so stressful. Because the vocabulary is different, the questions are fast, and there is kind of a time pressure. You feel like you cannot slow them down.
Exactly. And I remember going to my doctor's office one morning. This was maybe 6 months into my morning routine, and the nurse was asking me questions quickly. Any changes to your medications? Do you have any new symptoms? When was your last appointment? And I answered everything, smoothly, without freezing. Without saying sorry, can you repeat? 5 times.
That is huge. Because for a lot of our listeners, that exact situation, the doctor's office in the US, is one of the most stressful English situations they face. The vocabulary is harder, the stakes feel higher, and everything goes fast.
And I am not saying I was suddenly perfect. I still had moments of, wait, how do I say this? But the freezing, the complete white screen panic, that was mostly gone.
And all from 10 minutes of talking to yourself every morning over coffee.
Honestly, yes.
The phrase I want to highlight here, any changes to, because this is a very common American phrase, especially in professional or medical settings. Someone might say, any changes to your order at a restaurant, or any changes to the plan at work. It means, is there anything different from before? Is there anything new or different that I should know about?
Great one. Any changes to. Write that down if you can.
Okay, so I want to talk about something that I think is really practical here. Because I hear people say, I don't have time for a morning routine. I wake up, I get the kids ready, I make lunch, I'm out the door. And I completely understand that. Not everyone has 20 minutes to take a walk or sit and journal.
Right. And this is where the real trick is. You do not need to add new time to your morning. You need to add English to the time you already have.
Add English to the time you already have. Say that again.
Add English to the time you already have. So you are already making coffee. Add English. Narrate it out loud. You are already driving or taking the bus to work. Add English. Listen to a short podcast or audio lesson. You are already in the shower. Add English. Sing an English song. Repeat some phrases. Have a little conversation with yourself.
And this is what I call English in the cracks. The cracks, like the small spaces in your day that you did not even notice you had. 5 minutes here. 3 minutes there. Those cracks are where real progress lives.
I love that. English in the cracks. Because people wait for the perfect moment. They wait until they have a full hour to study. And the full hour never comes. But the cracks? They are always there.
Always there. Okay, so here is a specific tip. And this is something I personally started doing, and it sounds almost too simple. I put English sticky notes on things in my kitchen. My coffee maker said coffee maker. My refrigerator said fridge. And every morning when I was making breakfast, I would look at those notes and I would say the word out loud, and then I would use it in a sentence.
And did you do the sentences out loud?
Out loud. So I would say I'm getting something out of the fridge. Or, the coffee maker is almost done. Simple sentences. But I was making my mouth move in English patterns before I even left the house.
And you know what this does for your brain? It creates what you could call English anchors. Anchors like the heavy thing a boat drops to stay in one place. These words and phrases become anchors in your memory. You see your coffee maker, and your brain automatically thinks coffee maker in English, not in your first language. You have trained it.
Trained it. That is a great way to say it. One phrase here that I want everyone to know out loud. Out loud means you say something with your actual voice, not just in your head. Say it out loud. Practice out loud. This is a phrase you will hear a lot in American classrooms. In office settings, can you say that out loud so everyone can hear? It is very common and very useful.
And it is the difference between passive learning and active learning. Passive, that means you receive the information, like watching a video. Active, that means you do something with it. You produce it. And speaking out loud is the most active thing you can do. Okay, so we have talked about talking to yourself, shadowing on a walk, and adding English into things you already do. Now, I want to share one more thing that I think ties everything together. And it is incredibly simple.
Okay, I am curious. What is it?
Every morning, before I leave the house, I pick one sentence. Just one. One sentence that I am going to try to use naturally that day. And I practice it in the morning until it feels completely automatic.
Oh, I like this a lot. Can you give an example?
Sure. So let's say, and this is a very American daily life example, let's say I'm going to Starbucks that morning, which in the US, honestly, a lot of people do on their way to work, right?
Oh, for sure. Starbucks drive-through is basically American culture at this point.
Right. So my one sentence might be, could I get a medium coffee with oat milk, please? And I practice it in the morning. I say it 5 times while I am getting ready. Different ways. Could I get a medium coffee? Can I have a medium coffee with oat milk? A medium coffee with oat milk, please. I practice it until it feels easy. Automatic, and then when I am actually at the drive-through, it comes out. Smoothly. No panic.
That is so smart. Because you are basically preloading the sentence. You are loading it into your brain before you need it. So when the moment comes, it is already there, ready to go.
Preloading. I love that word for it. And the reason this works is because one of the reasons we freeze in English is that we are trying to do too many things at once. We are trying to remember vocabulary, think of the grammar, manage our accent, and understand the other person all at the same time. It is too much.
Way too much all at once.
But if one sentence is already preloaded, already automatic, that is one less thing your brain has to work on. And that little bit of relief makes a huge difference.
I want to try this right now with a different example. Let's say you have a morning meeting at work. Very common in American workplaces, a quick team meeting. 10 minutes, updates. What is everyone working on today? And you know your manager might ask, how is your project going? So your morning sentence could be, it's going well. I'm working on X right now, and I should have it done by end of day.
Perfect. That is a complete, natural, professional answer. And notice, it is not complicated. It is not trying to impress anyone. It is just clear and confident.
Clear and confident. That is the goal. Not perfect, not impressive, just clear and confident.
And that phrase, by end of day, that is a very common American workplace phrase. By end of day means before the end of the working day, usually by 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. You will hear this in emails, in meetings, in quick office conversations. Can you get this to me? By end of day? It is so common.
So common and so useful to have ready. Okay, I want to talk about something real. Because I think if we just say, do this routine, and everything will be perfect, that is not honest. And we are always honest on this show.
Always.
Real life happens. You have a bad morning. The kids are sick. You oversleep. Something stressful comes up, and you are out the door in 5 minutes. And your routine gone. And then maybe one bad morning becomes 2. Becomes a week, and suddenly you feel like you have lost all your progress and you are back at 0.
Oh, I know this feeling so well. And I want to say something important here. Missing 1 day or even 3 days does not erase your progress. Language learning is not like that.
It is not like that.
Think about it this way. If you go to the gym for 3 months and then you miss 1 week, your muscles did not disappear. The strength is still there. It is just a little rusty. You just need to warm back up.
Rusty. That is a great word. Rusty means something that was working well, then stopped being used, and now feels a little stiff or rough. Like an old door that has not been opened in a while, it creaks. My English feels rusty. I am a little rusty. Americans use this word all the time for skills they have not used recently. I haven't played piano in months. I'm pretty rusty.
Exactly. And the important thing when your routine breaks is you do not restart from the beginning. You just pick up where you left off. Even if it is just 1 sentence that morning, even if it is just 2 minutes of out loud English while you make coffee. You start. You restart. That is all.
And here is something that really helped me. I stopped calling it a routine and started calling it a practice. A routine sounds like something you have to do perfectly, in order, every single day. A practice like a yoga practice or a music practice that sounds like something you come back to, something you return to. It has more flexibility, more gentleness.
Your English practice. I love that so much. That is such a healthier way to think about it. Because when you think of it as a practice, missing a day is not failure. It is just a day off from practice. And you come back tomorrow.
You always come back. That is the only rule.
The only rule. And you know what else I want to say? And this is something I believe deeply, the fact that you are here right now listening to this podcast is part of your English practice. This is not separate from your life. This is your practice. Right now.
Right now. This counts.
I want to share something a little personal now. And I share this because I know it will connect with a lot of you.
Please. I love when you do this.
When I first moved to the US, I had this belief, this very strong belief, that I would not be taken seriously until my English was perfect. Until I had no accent. Until I never made a mistake. And so every morning I woke up with this pressure. This heavy feeling of, I am not good enough yet. I am not ready yet.
And that pressure, did it help or hurt?
It hurt. It hurt a lot. Because when you are trying to be perfect, you stop taking risks. You stop experimenting. You stop saying things unless you are 100% sure they are correct. And that is the worst thing for speaking. Speaking requires risk. Speaking requires the willingness to be a little wrong sometimes.
Say that again.
Speaking requires the willingness to be a little wrong sometimes. And once I accepted that, once I stopped chasing perfection in every conversation and started chasing connection, things changed. Not overnight. Slowly, but they changed.
And your morning routine was part of that, right? Because practicing alone in the morning where no one is judging you, that is where you got to take risks safely.
Exactly. That is where I built my confidence. Not in big dramatic moments. In small moments. Alone, in my kitchen, talking to myself about my coffee mug. And those small moments stacked up, day by day, week by week. And one morning I walked into my office and someone said, "Oh, your English sounds so natural." And I almost cried. Not because of the compliment, but because I knew exactly where it came from. It came from all those quiet mornings.
All those quiet mornings. I think that is the sentence I want everyone to keep. Progress comes from all those quiet mornings. Not the big study sessions, not the grammar tests, the quiet mornings when nobody is watching, when you just keep going anyway.
Okay, everyone, let's slow down now. Word tour time. This is the part of the show where we go through the most important words and phrases from today's episode, nice and slowly. Take notes if you can.
We have 6 great ones today. All of them useful in real American daily life.
Warm up. 2 words. Warm up your English. This means to get your brain ready for English before you need to use it for real. Like warming up muscles before exercise. Example 1, I always warm up my English in the morning before my Starbucks order. Example 2, I feel like I need to warm up my English before the team meeting. John, use it.
I used to go straight from sleep to speaking English at work with no warm-up. And honestly, it showed. Default. My brain defaults to my first language in the morning. Default means to automatically go back to the most familiar setting, like a phone that resets. Example 1, my brain defaults to Spanish when I am tired. Example 2, at home, we default to talking in our first language. Maria, use it.
When I am stressed, I still default to my first language sometimes, and that is okay. I just gently bring myself back to English. Shadowing. To shadow someone's speech. This means you listen to someone speak English and you repeat what they say, right behind them, copying the rhythm, the stress, the melody of their words. Example 1, I practice shadowing every morning on my walk. Example 2, shadowing is one of the best ways to improve your pronunciation without a teacher. John?
Shadowing is what convinced my neighbor that I had completely lost my mind. But my pronunciation improved, so worth it. Access. I couldn't access the words fast enough. Access as a verb means to get to something, to reach it, to use it. Example 1, I know the vocabulary, I just can't access it quickly under pressure. Example 2, after a few weeks of morning practice, I could access English phrases much faster. Maria?
The goal of a morning routine is to make your brain able to access English quickly without having to think too hard about it. By end of day. Can you finish that by end of day? This is a very common American workplace phrase. It means before the working day ends, usually by 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Example 1, my manager asked me to send the report by end of day. Example 2, I'll have those changes ready by end of day, no problem. John?
The first time someone said by end of day to me at work, I thought they meant by the end of the calendar day, like midnight. I almost stayed at the office until 11 p.m. Please do not do that. Rusty. My English feels rusty. Rusty describes a skill that used to be good but has not been used for a while. It feels rough or slow, not smooth. Example 1, I took a vacation and didn't practice English for 2 weeks. I felt really rusty when I got back. Example 2, my friend asked me to speak French, and I said honestly, I'm pretty rusty. It's been years. Maria?
After a week without my morning routine, my English feels rusty. That's how I know the routine is actually working.
Okay, practical takeaway time. One thing. One simple thing you can try tomorrow morning. Not a big goal, not a new app. One thing.
Tomorrow morning, while you are making breakfast or coffee talk out loud in English for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. You can narrate what you are doing. You can describe what you see around you. You can just say random things. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to make complete sense. It just needs to be out loud in English.
And here's a sentence template to help you get started. Use this. Right now, I am underscore underscore. And then I'm going to underscore underscore underscore. So for example, right now, I am making coffee. And then I'm going to get dressed. Simple, natural, real.
Try saying this today or tomorrow morning. Right now, I am underscore underscore underscore. And then I'm going to underscore underscore underscore.
Fill in those blanks with your actual morning, your actual life. And say it out loud, not in your head out loud. That is your practice for tomorrow.
And if you feel a little silly good, that means you are doing it right. The discomfort is the growth.
The discomfort is the growth. Write that one down too.
Okay, we have a comment challenge for you today. And we love reading these, so please do this.
In the comments, complete this sentence. My English feels the most natural when underscore.
My English feels the most natural when underscore. Maybe it is when you are talking about a topic you love. Maybe it is when you are with a certain person. Maybe it is after a coffee. Whatever it is, we want to hear it.
This is also a great way to understand yourself as a learner. When do you feel best? What conditions help you? Share it. And read the other comments too, because I promise you will find someone who feels exactly the same way you do.
And if today's episode helped you, if even one phrase or one idea was useful, please give us a thumbs up. It genuinely helps other learners find this show. 1 tap. It takes 1 second. And it means the world to us.
And subscribe if you have not yet. We put out a new episode every single day. Every day, new topics, new vocabulary, new stories, all designed for real daily life in the US and other English-speaking countries.
We are here for you. Every morning, if you want us to be. We can be part of your English warm-up.
That would be the honor of our lives. Truly.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You showed up, you listened, you learned something. And tomorrow morning, talk to yourself. Say your sentences out loud. Warm up that engine.
You are not starting from zero. You are not behind. You are right where you need to be. And every quiet morning that you practice, you are moving forward. Even when it does not feel like it.
Especially when it does not feel like it.
Take care of yourself. We will see you in the next episode.
Speak unstoppable. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.